kind of book. Welcome to another episode of the Supper Club. The Supper Club brought to you by Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life. Oliva on the Hill. Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor. MFI, Artisan Masonry. And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends. Welcome to the Supper Club. My name's Joe Fresta, and we're brought to you by Kuna Food Service here. We're going to have a special show. You see a little bit different setup today. We're going to talk a little Italian history in one of the most storied neighborhoods in America, the Hill in St. Louis, Missouri. Here to my side here is Butch Grassi, Mr. Nick D'Alba, my father, Joe Fresta Sr., and Phil Teresi. Welcome to the show, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you guys grew up here. You all were born and raised in the neighborhood, and like I said, it's the last neighborhood, right, Phil? This is
It's
it.
the last of the Italian true neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, the one in New York's about gone. It might be a half a street block.
Yeah,
that's it.
that's
You
about
might
it.
be able to get a Sazitza sandwich. That's about it. They're all gone. You know, maybe the North End in Boston is around.
Boston's a good one, yeah.
We're truly still a neighborhood.
We're a neighborhood.
And-
You're
and
right.
You don't see this anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, you're right. It's just mostly some restaurants and whatnot.
yeah.
They have a district. They'll have streets. They'll have an area blocked. But we are actually a neighborhood.
Speaking of which, we're presently in one of the oldest and first restaurants here on the Hill, Sala's, and was opened, I believe, in 1905, and maybe one of two or a handful of restaurants that were here. Maybe the other one was Ruggieri's, if I'm not mistaken. And you two gentlemen worked here.
Yeah.
What about Angelo's, too?
Yeah,
was
Angelo's, which is now Charlie Gito's.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about those days you were busboys, correct?
Started out as a busboy and then went behind the soda fountain
Right.
with Nick.
Soda fountain. They made great malts, you were saying earlier.
Right. Yeah.
With real malt.
Real malt and ice cream trail tripled when me and Nick started.
Okay. So you guys, what was it like when you were a young boy when you were here?
You know, everybody our age had a job, and typically they were in restaurants.
Yeah.
That's all. Right out of high school, or even in high school, we started working in restaurants.
Yeah.
Everybody our age had a job.
Busboys, right?
Well, bus started out, well, you're 14, 15 years old. You can't be a waiter then.
Yeah. Right. Phil, you too. I mean, you're a little bit younger than these fellas,
A little
but you
younger,
too.
but you
You
couldn't
were
wait till you were able
make
to
a
get
few
in,
bucks.
Go out and
make
work.
a few dollars.
Yeah.
You cut grass. You did whatever, shoveled snow, whatever it took
snow,
to
yeah.
And we
make a
worked-
couple bucks.
We worked at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We worked at 2 o'clock in the morning. Here's young kids, 15 years old, and we walk home from here.
And here's Sala's. I mean, the Sala family actually lived upstairs.
That's correct.
We're in the actual dining room, as I said before, of the restaurant. And this was your first job, right? Along with another.
Right.
A lot of
friend yours.
memories here.
Yeah, a lot of
A
memories.
lot of guys from the Hill, right, Butch?
Danny
Everybody
Percelli.
from the
Danny
Hill.
Percelli.
Yeah.
Danny Percelli,
I remember-
Bob Cantoni,
Right.
Sebastian.
Sebastian
What about
Busso.
Jock?
Yeah.
Danny's
Jack.
chef.
Chalene Mermani.
Celine Romani
This was
here.
kind of
Carmen
different. This was
English.
a fine dining room with white
Yeah.
tablecloths and everything.
Yeah.
And out there past the doors was a cafeteria.
Right.
Yeah,
You didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed in here. were we?
No.
You weren't allowed in the dining room?
No,
I want to
no
go
way.
back. I want to go back to 1870 when Italians first settled the Hill. Was first settled by the French, and then the Germans, and then the Italians. They had the clay mines that opened up, and that's where they found jobs. And they a lot of them came to America for opportunity. Some went through Ellis Island in New York, but a lot of them. Dad, I know your family
New
came up
Orleans.
through New Orleans, through the Gulf of Mexico, and came up that way. Talk about that a little bit. What
Well,
you know.
yeah, Grandpa and his two brothers, they ended up in New York, and they shipped them they were moving people around from New York to different
Ports.
ports.
Yeah.
They moved them to New Orleans. They got off the boat in New Orleans, and then, ironically, the Irish were shooting and killing Italians,
Right.
especially Sicilians.
Especially
Yeah.
Sicilian.
I mean, it's in a book. I mean, there's nothing, no
Yeah,
story
no.
about. So Grandpa and his two brothers got the heck out of there. They moseyed off to
Went up the
Independence, Louisiana, and then from Independence, they went to St. Louis up the river. You're
river.
right.
Very much discriminated against. The largest lynching in America was actually Sicilians.
Right.
And it's well documented. And so I remember you talking about your grandfather. I mean, they just went up. They had to migrate back, up north, up the Mississippi to find, a little bit more friendlier confines, if you will, and eventually settled here on the hill. And
Well, I just think they couldn't speak any English.
no,
They knew nothing,
no,
and yet
When we grew
they
up,
had to find a place to go.
right.
when they
Phil,
were
your
young,
parents.
my father's family, my nana and my nanu spoke very little English, but they wouldn't allow them to speak Italian.
Right.
If you were in America, it's not like today, they want you to speak Spanish or these different, you didn't speak Italian. They wanted you to go to school, learn English, so you didn't get picked on.
That was a rule, right? I mean, you had inside at home you could speak Italian, but when you left the house, you had to speak English.
The other thing too, though, is even here in St. Louis, there was separation between the northern Italians and the
Oh,
southern.
yeah.
So even though we're all here in St. Louis, we still had our own. Everybody had their own boundaries.
Talk about the different clubs. There were different clubs,
Oh,
right?
It was the club on every corner.
Well, there's the Wildcats, the Fawns,
Hawks.
the Hawks.
Jokers.
We were Jokers.
No, we're talking about big clubs.
Well, we had a club.
You were a little cl-
Marconis.
Marconi, the Ravens,
The
the
Ravens.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Every age group, like every 5 years, there was a tier of guys.
there was-
Remember?
Right.
Nick Toscano's guys. Every 5 years, so those we followed after them. Their clubs, and we had a 2-room house for a club.
When they first came here, there was Big Club Hall where they could go and get direction, get a job, maybe find a place to live.
You mean the immigrants?
Yeah.
The politicians played a big part in that.
Right.
When they came over, Midge Bear and a lot of people before him got these people jobs with the city and other places.
Sure.
And that helped a lot of, it was a strong Democratic club that they had, and they would put people to work constantly.
In the trades,
And
mostly.
Trades
or the clay mines.
are working for
or
the city,
brickyard.
are working in the brickyards.
The biggest help for the immigrants was the Reggio family.
The bank. Yeah.
They used to they lend them money and
Yeah.
Well, clay mines, they made the best pipe and the best bricks in the Midwest. I mean, that clay was something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so everybody, that was a big job for everybody.
Fire brick. They made
Fire brick, they made fire, and they made the 8-inch pipe for the sewers. That's
Sewer
that time.
pipe.
Sewer pipe.
Yeah.
And
so,
they just closed down when I was a kid.
Right.
And they were located down behind Barra Court.
right.
Right.
Off
That's
there,
right.
and so blood that the building went from there all the way to Rivety Pear.
Wow.
Actually, where MSD's at now, they're down
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
I always said that the kids today missed out not growing up on the hill.
Yeah.
Everybody should have grown up on the
I
hill.
like that. Well,
Yeah.
well, when I was born, I lived on the hill for until about maybe 2, but then we moved not too far away to Clifton Park.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time over here visiting my
you had to grow up
grandparents,
here.
aunts,
And
and
you
uncles.
had to grow up here and
Didn't
know-
grow up here. though.
Yeah. What happened?
Right.
Well, the clay mines were they dumped all their stuff, the refuse off what they cleared out of the mines. So we played there.
Right.
We called it the dump, but they dumped stuff, and then eventually people were dumping all their trash there. But we'd leave in the morning at 8 o'clock, and we would come back at 4 o'clock. And if we sit after, and we get a baked potato, remember baked potato, and put mud on them. We used to bake them out. Really, we did.
Break them out the dump.
Yeah,
I
we used to-
remember that.
So we were there all the time. That was our playground.
But there was 2 types of you guys, and then there was guys that were at Macklin Field every day
right. Yeah.
playing softball,
Right.
Yeah.
Indian ball or something.
Well, we
There-
had Shaw
There
School.
was
Yeah.
people in the neighborhood were always competitive sports-wise.
Right.
Didn't matter the sport. And these clubs that they're talking about,
Yeah.
which were pretty much over when I came up, we had our club, but there wasn't a bunch of them. But they were all competing against each other
Yeah.
in different sports.
And then go home and play with each other.
Exactly.
Then, of course, the epicenter of any community, especially this Italian community, was the church.
The church.
St. Ambrose Church actually burned down in 1921, and they had to build another one.
Yeah.
And which
Beautiful.
was largely made up of brick and fashioned much after St. Ambrose Basilica in Milan.
Yeah.
Exactly. Only about 1/4 the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they only had that much property.
It wasn't a basilica.
And they weren't going to build it at that time. That was Cooper Street.
Okay.
It wasn't
And they weren't
Marconi.
going to, the pastor wasn't going to build a church on Cooper Street, so they changed it that one block to Marconi.
That's how that street got changed.
And then we had Joe Garagiola and Yogi Berra.
Right. Well,
That
then
was-
you also had another church that was being built at the same time, St. Aloysius Gonzaga.
Right.
That was on the
It was built then. I didn't know
southwest,
that.
Yeah.
southwest
I
corner
know
of the
it's
hill.
gone, but I didn't know it was built.
So
Yeah,
a lot of the Italians went to school there, went to church there, and there was also St. Ambrose. Of course,
When we were kids, Joe,
That's
we called
where you
that the
grew up.
off the hill school.
the off the hill,
Off
they
the hill
weren't quite-
school.
That's where you grew up, on Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not too far from there, yeah. But talk about how important the church was and school. I know, Nick, you went to Shaw School.
went to Shaw School.
Dad, you went to St. Ambrose. You were St. Ambrose,
St. Ambrose.
Phil. But
Nick went to school with my wife. They graduated
Right.
the same year.
Right.
at Shaw School.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Nick
That was
couldn't
the
get in
public
St.
school.
Ambrose because the priest wouldn't let him in there.
It was $5 a week, and my father wasn't going to pay $5 a week.
That's true.
$5 a
Sure,
week
yeah.
then was a lot of
Well, they're
money.
making $1 an hour.
Everything in this neighborhood back then, and as
Yeah.
it grew, went through the church.
Absolutely.
The priests were the kingpin, so to speak, of
Yeah.
the everyday people.
Yeah.
And what they said went, and they controlled most everything.
Yeah.
Then in the late 50s, Monsignor Polizzi came in, and he would think out of the box. he created some things like the Hill 2000
Correct.
in the 60s.
Sure.
And he believed in a triangle. He believed in politicians, Hill 2000, and the church, with the church being at the top of the pyramid. And
Yeah.
that's what he would run everything through. And it was pretty ingenious when he created the Hill 2000, because it was his resource for funding that he can control. Because
Right.
everything, like they said, $5 to go to school, you
Right.
paid the church.
Yeah.
You didn't pay tuitions. Everything went to that envelope in the church. Well, the church got their percentages.
Yeah.
And Father said,
The
"We gotta-"
archdiocese got their piece,
Exactly.
and then Rome got their piece.
So, so Polizzi figured a way to say, hey, we're going to keep some of this.
Yeah.
And so he created a 501c3.
Yeah.
And you got to remember something. This is 60s. The year 2000 was like, it was like, you couldn't even think of it
Yeah.
back then. And they created that for betterment of the neighborhood.
Sure.
The first program that they actually had was to beautify your exterior part of your house. And people loved it because they would have these different events they would work at, but they would plant bushes or put siding up, and they get money back.
Yeah.
They would pay, if not all of it, a good portion of it.
Right.
So the neighborhood was just recycling itself, which was pretty ingenious on Polizzi's
Yeah,
part.
he had a lot of vision,
Had a
some
lot of vision.
foresight. Of course, he was very instrumental when Highway 44 was being built. Went right through the middle of the hill, unfortunately, and made that sort of separated. But
268 homes off this neighborhood.
Yeah, just like that.
Cut Patterson right down.
Yep.
And businesses. I mean,
Right.
a good one that everybody can remember, Mom's Deli. Mom's
he
Deli was right on Edward Street.
oh, really?
You know? So,
yeah, but at least he got the bridge, right? He
Yeah.
got the bridge to sort of connect, keep the hill sort of together. People could
Right.
travel
We
back
had
and
some
forth.
exciting priests when we first growing up. Remember Father Custer? He was
Oh,
a
yeah.
young, handsome priest. He had a Nash convertible, and all the women, all the young girls in the hill loved Father Custer.
Oh. He became Bishop Kester.
That's correct.
And he confirmed me.
Well, he helped
When he
me
was
make my
Bishop
communion.
Kester.
He helped me make my communion. I was disruptive in class.
No.
No, not you.
so that's what they called it.
that first people from Shaw School, they didn't like kids from Shaw School to begin with. And then Sister Sunta was kind of tough, so she said, you can't make a communion, you got to go see Father Kester. So every time and Joe heard the story before, every time I saw Father Kester for the next 40 years, he put his arm around me and said, you and I made our communion together.
Yeah.
No, but it did everything go through the church, Joe, like you say. It really did.
Well, I think when people want to buy houses, Father Polizzi had a list of houses that were for sale. Go ahead.
What Father did, he started, he put a lady in charge, and he said, we want no real estate signs.
Right.
Everything's going to go through us. Because what happened is, their generation, and as we got older, and there was no housing. Our parents were still in the houses.
Yeah.
So people left. That's how South County kind of got created. South St. Louis, all the people my age, they moved that way.
Yeah.
And so Melville was created in Oakville. But Father Polizzi came up with the idea, say, look, you'd be laying in cockataras, fresh and cold, and they'd be doing negotiations right there at the funeral parlor to get the house. And he would have people lined up. And you would say, okay, I got a house, it's yours. And he'd move young families in.
Right.
So he kept the
Keep
neighborhood
the traditions going.
populated and kept the school populated, because if you look at a lot of these areas, once the kids grow up, they leave, the parents get old, there's a 40-year period there that you have no young kids.
There's a gap.
And
It
You
was
you forgot a big name who ran the hill too.
who's that?
Mr. DiMartino.
Well,
Everything went through Mr. DiMartino.
that was a different side of the neighborhood.
You want to elaborate on that? You go right
No,
ahead.
I'm just saying he was.
Yeah.
Everything went through there.
Well, in those days too, everybody had somebody. I slept in the same room with my grandfather.
Yeah.
Everybody had their grandfather, grandmother there. They weren't moving. And, you
Yeah.
know, the people there wasn't any nursing. You just took the people in. Like my grandfather was with us for 20 years.
Yeah.
And you know, he just come in. And
A lot of times they build little houses behind in the back of the yard, correct?
After
the
World War II, Joe, they allowed
Grandmothers.
to take a garage and make it living quarters.
Okay.
And a lot of people did that.
Yeah, that's how they did that.
But a lot of families, there were 7, 8, 9, 10 kids, 10 people in one house.
Right.
Yeah.
And the houses only had 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
And
So-
Grandpa ended up moving houses.
Yeah.
Now,
For people.
coming from the old country, moving a house down the street.
Yeah.
He used to have the jacks and the logs and
I watched them do it many times.
pump it up and
most people, their kitchen was in we call the lower level now, being nice. It was the basement.
Yeah.
Okay, and my father fixed up our basement, and we spent all of our time in the basement, and we just went upstairs to sleep. And we only had 3
Smelled
rooms.
good down there too, didn't
Very
it?
good. Yeah. My mother was a pretty good cook.
You know, we know the hill today is for a lot of restaurants and whatnot, but back in the day, it was largely made up of grocery stores and taverns.
Yes.
Talk about some of the old
Every corner, Joe.
taverns that were here,
And
the
and
grocery
cleaners.
stores, cleaners.
and drugstores. Me, there was a ton of drugstores.
Well, on a block of
confectionaries.
the 2300 block of Sublet, there was Virginia's on the corner of Columbia. There was Fosse's across the street, Felicia's across the street. So then
And
down
what
the
was the
street-
one on Bischoff?
on Bischoff
and
right.
There's
So
one on Botanical
Yeah.
too. Their little yellow building.
Yeah, it was
that was a barber shop, wasn't it?
Bosserati's. My nanu owns that building, and he built it for him for 40 years. They thought Bosserati owned it, and he had a grocery store there for 44 years.
We had Consolinos.
Consolinos,
right,
you had
was
Joyas.
And all
you
the
had-
taverns had bocce courts.
Yeah.
Everybody had
Roses, right?
and bocce was
Angel's.
really big then.
Melrose.
Melrose.
Where John Tones
Seven
is
Steps.
All
at.
of them.
Yeah.
Marconi there next to the bar. What's his name? The barber.
Luigi.
Rancilio's.
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 Yeah, Rancilio had
That
a
was
barber
Big Club
shop.
Hall's.
Bocce Court.
Oh, I'll be
Yeah.
darned. Yeah.
we didn't have credit cards. When you go in and buy groceries, you sign.
Yeah.
And you just sign, and then at the end of the
Yeah.
month, you go back and
pay.
you pay
Johnny
back.
Obie's gas station on Bischoff and Marconi.
Yeah.
You went in there, you got gas, so you fill your whole car up for $5, and you sign.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you come in next week, if you had $3, you paid them. If you have $2, you paid them.
Right.
And
And
that's
Barra Furniture was another one.
Right.
You went in, you bought your furniture, you signed for it.
right.
And then
right.
you come in every week and
Make
you give them
payments.
money till you
Right.
paid it off.
That was Lou Cerruti.
Yeah, Lou
Yeah,
Cerruti.
but there weren't many restaurants. I mean, how many? There were maybe just a hand. Maybe this was one. Ruggieri's was one. and
Ruggieri's was the big one.
Angelo's
maybe.
was
Then
one.
a club,
Marconi.
was Brett?
Yeah, where Dominic's is was
Yeah,
was
No.
no.
Barris?
Barra's
No,
Cafeteria.
I'm talking about by the school, which is Dominic's
Casani's?
today.
Casani's?
No, Andrino's.
Andrino's.
Oh, no,
Andrino's.
that was later on.
That was later on, though.
That was,
What was
that was in your era.
what was it before that?
It was a
Barra's.
Barris.
Bears.
It was like Salas. No, like what's Marconi and Daggett. No, Hereford and
Wilmar.
Daggett.
Hereford and Marconi.
Hereford and Daggett.
And Wilson.
Oh, Emigetti's.
No, cross the street from Leota's.
Oh, Casani's.
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 Casani was
And
the
I'm a
same
kid.
as Barra's.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
when you get our age, Joe, you forget stuff.
Yeah,
Barbecue pit.
picking that up.
The barbecue pit outside.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Joe, because everybody in the neighborhood went to their certain grocery store.
Right.
I didn't go.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people went to Fosse's. Some people went to Joya's. Some people went to Scano's.
O'Danny's.
Danny's.
Yeah.
You know.
Joe
it's-
Rena's.
Urzi's was around back then too, was it not?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Erzy was different, though. Erzy, he supplied hospitals. Where the hardware store is now, that was a whole strip. Remember it? And it had all fruit, fresh fruit in there.
Right.
The fellow by the name of Shadow. He used to deliver to all the hospitals, grapes and all the fruit. I used to ride with him when I was a
They
kid.
had the brass key too. That was
Brass Key was
Brass
going.
Key.
Brass Key
What was
was
going?
where Canetto's was.
Yeah.
That was going there.
That's Midgie Bear's home.
Right.
The other thing, Joe, that everyone had nicknames.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people didn't even know the person's real name. You called him by his nickname for so long, you know. Am I right?
Yeah.
Crow.
There were so many grocery stores, right? I mean, if it wasn't at the end of your street, you didn't go to it. There
Yeah.
could be one
Exactly.
just another block over. You never. It was too
same
far
with,
away.
Same with taverns.
Taverns
when
too.
we were kids, we'd take this bucket just like this.
Yeah.
You walk
Swing
up, walk up to Fosse's, they'd fill them up, and the old men would mark that bucket, and they'd better come back not below that line.
And they used to go
take
home
any sips.
swinging the bucket.
See,
Remember?
what I-
Get the
what I
beer.
You
spilling
keep it
it.
in there.
Oh yeah.
You better not drop it.
Well, you had the bars were you had Roses, you had Seven Steps
Seven
was
Steps.
around. You had
Big Club Hall.
Big Club Hall. A lot of weddings were there.
Fosse's had a
Fosse's had a tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Bruschetto's was
Wilmar.
another one. Wilmar Lounge.
By our house.
You don't even,
What was Hoggy's place there on Bischoff and across from Vitelli's Bakery?
Lombardo. It was Lombardo's, but that's before that.
Before
I don't know what
Lombardo.
it was.
Remember, Joe? What was
And then
his
you had
Where?
across the street from Vitelli's Bakery.
one of the beauty shop is
Yeah.
now.
Tony Blue on Southwest, where
Blue,
I
right,
bought his.
right.
I bought his bar.
Toonie Blue.
So,
You know the neat thing about the hill too, when we were growing up, you walked down the street, my uncle lived here, my aunt lived here, my grandma lived here.
Right.
You knew
Cousin
everybody.
was
The
here.
whole family
You
was
knew,
there.
and you did something wrong, anybody could correct you. You know, it was
They
just,
knew about it.
Oh yeah, it was just.
It was safe too. You never
Yeah.
locked the doors. You go
Oh,
on.
like,
never took keys out of the car.
oh, the summer,
I'm telling you, we never locked the doors. We never.
Never.
It was-
summertime we slept outside.
You roll the windows up.
No,
If it wasn't
Yeah,
going to rain,
right.
they'd roll the windows up, lift the windows down.
no, it was,
That was the hill. That was.
and there was a lot of people bartered.
Everybody should
Yeah,
be
a lot of people.
raised
There wasn't a lot of cash around.
on the
So, you know, my family were plumbers. If they take care of something,
Sure, yeah.
they'd trade Leota for,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
for Sazita, and he'd fix his faucet for him.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of that going all over
that
the
suburb.
neighborhood.
We go to Toscano's and buy. They with a pencil on the bag. They would put a total.
Right.
Then they'd make their little card.
It's funny.
piano.
And they
That's
put it.
right.
When my dad got home, or I
worked
got
there.
home, they'd tear that part of the bag off and stick it on a nail in the pantry.
You owe
At
that.
the end of the week, my dad would add that up.
And
It
make it
better
right.
match what Sam Toscano had on his. It better be no penny difference in my dad's bill and his bill.
Oh,
Well, then back to the restaurants. I remember a story about Ruggieri's where they had a special room for the cab drivers.
Right in the back.
And
there.
they would take care of those cab drivers and make sure that they would all, when they pick people up at the airport,
They bring him
They
to
bring them
Ruggieri's.
right to Ruggieri's. But
Joe,
they
I
ask,
remember
where
when-
would you go eat?
When we were
That's where
kids,
the
those,
burnt sandwich came on.
Yeah.
The burnt
those taxis
sandwich.
would go all the way up Elizabeth Avenue,
Yeah.
waiting to pick people up at Ruggieri's.
That was a great restaurant. That was a famous.
Well, Frank Sinatra would go there.
All
and
over the
Dean
world.
Martin.
It was known all over
I was
the
out there
world.
when
It really
all the
was.
Brooklyn Dodgers were all out there, and we used to.
Everybody was
Everybody
there.
came there. That was-
Oscar made more money than a construction worker, and he parked cars.
I remember him.
Yeah, they had the little lot right behind our family building, right there on,
Right.
on Elizabeth, which is now
The emo house.
the Emo
yeah.
House.
Wow. And that's
That was a
something.
parking lot.
Salas was big too, and a lot of people came to Salas.
Yeah.
But that was-
Ruggieri's and Salas were the
Well,
main.
Ruggieri's was a fine dining. It was steak. It was a
When
steakhouse.
Nick and I worked here, the three-decker famous Sala special
Right,
with a quarter.
right,
A quarter.
right.
Three
Beef.
slices of white bread, ham, lettuce.
I wasn't
slice of
quite that
bread,
old.
Beef, lettuce,
A quarter.
That was good. Yeah, it
25
was.
cents.
Now it's $15.
Yeah, right.
The bread's more than a quarter.
It was. That was a famous sandwich.
Yeah, they made
Salad
some
special. Oh,
sandwiches.
didn't they? Yeah.
And the amazing thing, Joe, too, is like Nick was saying,
Yeah.
you knew everybody. Every house on every street,
Yeah.
you knew somebody. But when you grew up, there was so many kids. We had
Yeah.
29 kids on Bear Court alone.
Yeah.
You know, there was so many kids. You went to Bear Park, you better get there early if you wanted to get in the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you were
wanna get
left
in
behind. And then that's how many kids were around back then.
I told you that
Yeah.
story too. Mama got a divorce when I was 2 years old.
Right.
Grandpa was so embarrassed, she got out of the country. She left. She
She went to San
moved to
Jose.
California.
There was 53 kids in our graduating class in 8th grade.
At St. Ambrose.
53. 53 kids.
Well, kids, people had, when I went, even when I was, I'm a lot younger than you guys. When I went to Epiphany, I had classmates that had 10, 11 brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they had, so these families had a kid in every grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore, and that's why you're seeing all these parishes closed down.
Oh, yeah.
People are having maybe 2 kids, not 12.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, that's very
We
true.
used to play bottle caps. We had a broom handle
Broomstick,
and bottle caps.
Yeah.
The kids don't even know what that is today.
Let's move into the sports, right? There was baseball, and
Soccer.
we had
Softball,
soccer was a big sport.
Soccer was
and
the big
everybody knows about Yogi Berra, 10 World Series championships with the New York Yankees. You had Joe Garagiola played for the Cardinals. They were both catchers. But not a lot of people know about Dominic Italiano, played for the St. Louis Browns.
Yeah.
And another lady who started synchronized swimming.
Yeah,
Right?
Rosalind
Rosalind
Cockatero.
Yeah.
She started that. correct?
Rosalind's mother.
Mom.
Talk about all these different athletes
You
we
talk
had
about
come out here.
Elizabeth Avenue. You had Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola, and you had Pucci. He was a football player.
Oh, okay.
He-
Played for the
pro
Browns?
football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be
So
darned.
And Jack Buck.
Well, Jack Buck.
There was the Hall of Fame street, they called it.
Right,
And,
right.
Jimmy Pizzoni played for the Yankees.
Yeah,
Spent
Jimmy
18 years
Pizzoni.
in the minors.
Well, and that as a kid, we
How about
played
Phil Leota?
Huh?
Phil Leota?
Philiota.
Phil Alada.
A
Phil
lot of.
Alada,
Phil
yeah.
Alada.
Now, did he play
A lot,
before
yeah.
Yogi? Was he before Yogi?
No.
After
About
Yogi.
the same time.
He was
right.
brought
Oh.
up to the Yankee organization by Casey Stengel to bat for Maris if Maris wasn't going to bat again.
Who was the guy who
Okay.
used to ride the motorcycle? Played. He was in a motorcycle all the time.
The only guy I know on a motorcycle was Foz.
Fazio.
Fazio had the motorcycle.
This was way back before Fazio.
Before Fazio?
Yeah.
On a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Well, we had baseball and we had soccer, of course. All those 5 guys or so that went to the World Cup.
On the 1950 team that
Yep.
beat England.
Talk about that.
You had Lefty Colombo. You had all these guys.
I
Grew
played.
up
Played with them.
I
you know,
played
they're-
against them.
They were my first coaches.
Right.
So they were a little on the retired side when I got started.
Frank Borghi.
But Frank Borghi's another one.
And you had a lot of them that didn't make the team that could have made the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pee Wee Wallace.
He was
John
there.
Gallimberti.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Skinny could have made the team.
Bobby Ennis.
Bobby Ennis.
Ennis could have
Bobby
made the
Ennis.
team. I think
Charlie
Pete Traynor
Colombo.
could've-
A lot of
Pete could've
politics. They
probably
could
made
put the
team.
whole team could have been from this
From the
neighborhood.
Hill.
You're right.
It could have been.
You're right.
But
No
they
kidding.
they had to take some East people from
Yeah.
New York and all
Right,
that to
right.
balance the team out.
And then, of course, they filmed a movie about it right here in the neighborhood
Yeah.
called Game of Their Lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. But a lot of those athletes were also softball and baseball Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
There was so much competitiveness
yeah.
through all of them. They were all just great athletes, not just in one sport,
Yeah.
in multiple
They
sports.
were just good athletes.
They were
And of
just
course-
good athletes.
Of course, they say Yogi, his older brothers were better than he was.
That's right.
Yeah.
They
But
did.
they didn't get a
Mike
chance.
was
They
a
didn't get to
better
go.
bowler. His brother
Mike I grew up across the street on Bear Court with his brother Mike.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Mike
he was
probably the best.
he
was good.
he said we had to work.
Yeah,
He
it's-
said my dad wouldn't let us go. Yogi got to go
he was the
play
youngest.
baseball.
Only
He's
one,
just- yeah.
just one
And he
count.
said all the rest of us had to go to work.
But I heard they had to talk their father into letting Yogi go.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't want to let him go. So
Yeah, they had to work.
yeah. And to your point, they
They had
were
to survive.
They were great athletes in all the sports. Yogi played hockey.
Yeah.
He would work out with the Flyers, the St. Louis Flyers.
Oh, I never
at his
knew that.
arena.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
American
He's-
Hockey League.
I didn't
He
know
skated.
that.
We'd go out and he'd go play. He didn't
Wow.
play with them, but
Yeah.
he'd go practice with them and
Red
skate with
Grassi
them.
too.
Yeah.
My cousin Red,
Yeah.
he worked out with him. Red.
Rose was kidding.
They wanted him to travel. He goes, travel where? I got 4 kids at home.
Right.
Who's going to go to Cacciatore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then more and more restaurants started to open up, kind of give the name of the identity of what the Hill is today, and talk a little bit about that, how that all sort of transitioned. More of the grocery stores started to close or transitioned into sandwich shops and whatnot.
A store called Nationals opened right
That's right.
up Macklin Avenue.
Yeah.
And it was the beginning of the end of a lot of these stores.
Sure.
So a lot of these stores became specialty stores where
Yeah.
Joyce made the salami to taste. A lot of them made salsiccia, like Toscanos, that are made the ravioli. They became specialty stores. They didn't carry canned goods because if a canned good was 20 cents at their store, you could buy it at National for 10 cents. So they pushed them out of, the mom and pop
Schnucks.
out of business.
They didn't push Fosse out, though, did they?
Fosse was around a long time. They
Yeah.
had the bar plus the store, and they hung
Tomboy
around.
store,
They were
Tomboy
probably one of the last
Other-
to be defeated
But
by the major
the
stores.
original store they tried to, they didn't make it was Kroger.
Kroger.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a bank.
Now, it's next
Yeah.
door to Joe Barbalia's shop there.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Laundromat.
In fact,
Yeah.
I sold papers there. On Thursday night, they had coupons in there. You come and buy all of our papers.
They didn't make it. They
You're right.
tried all that,
You're
the
right.
same as National did, but they didn't make it.
Right.
Well, I mean, I bought Tony Blue's bar in 1978, and there was 17 bars in the neighborhood.
Right.
Okay, when we went 5.5 years. By the late 80s, we had Milo's. That was it.
Right.
That's how they all disappeared.
Which used to be the Wilmore.
Wilmore Lounge.
Wilmore Lounge.
Exactly.
Right.
And all the bars just kind of disappeared. Mr. Posel died. This one died. That one got sick.
Seven Steps got knocked down.
There's.
Roses turned into what is now Lorenzo's now.
Yeah. Well, they sold it to a group of lawyers, 3 lawyers, and it survived probably another 8 or 10 years, and then they got out. But there was no succession programs with a lot of these people. They just had their businesses, and when they were done, they closed the door.
Yeah.
And that's, we had Ross store. Remember on Shaw?
Old Man Rao.
Old Man Rao.
Wow.
Actually,
And-
where Viviano's is now that's closed, that was Rouse store.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Viviano's was next door,
And
which
his
is part of the coffee shop now, right?
his brother owned all that on Southwest Avenue, and he didn't get along with the bank
Right.
because they didn't give him a loan, and he held that grudge
Oh,
for
boy.
60 years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my mother, I remember she was in the house and she was sick and we were talking about the Italians. I said, Mom, why is everybody attracted to the Italians? I don't care where you go in the army. If you're Italian, a guy met you, you're Italian. All the Italians got together. She
Yeah.
said, well, Nick, we're very interesting people. I said, I guess you're
Talk about it a little bit, though. I'm going to go back a little bit to where the northern Italians and the southern Italians didn't really get along right away when they came here. When the downtown Italian section got kind of closed down through development, half of them went to North St. Louis, and the other half moved to the Hill.
I think most of the Sicilians
And then
stayed
for a while
downtown.
there was a little bit of a.
They were downtown.
Right? Talk about that little bit of that animosity between each
Well, Sicily.
each group.
Sicily was separated from North.
Sure.
The mainland.
It wasn't really part of.
No, that was different.
Yeah.
It's an island.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a part of it. So they were always figured they were separate from the northern Italians.
Right.
So that and they had
Well,
reputation of being-
Northern Italy was more industrialized,
more cultural,
more cultural, more
Yeah,
educated,
Right.
more.
You had Rome,
Sure.
so-
We didn't have that. I mean, their Sicilians were northern.
You all
We've been
got
friends our
along.
whole life. Our whole life.
It's the parents that came over on the boat
The first ones.
that had more of those grudges
Right.
than we did. By the time it got to me,
Yeah,
right. I couldn't even tell you if you were Sicilian or
No,
Lombardi
right.
at the
No,
time.
it was all gone by then.
You,
Oh, does Northern have
No,
their own wedding hall?
it wasn't
Southern
gone,
had their
Joe.
own wedding hall?
it wasn't
Famagusta,
gone until the last
Famagusta.
old person died in this neighborhood. Trust me. The one thing Italians do is they don't forget.
Yeah, right.
especially this guy.
That's true. Yeah,
I always,
my God.
I always say the Hills like a family. We argue between ourselves. We go toe to toe with each other, but just
Yeah.
don't get in the middle of us.
yeah, right.
And we've always been that way.
Yeah.
When we have a problem, we unite real close together and we work as a unit,
Right.
which is kind of, it used to be in the city you had the Irish section, you had the Polish section, you had the
Right.
German section.
Yeah.
They're all gone. We're the only ones still around.
They're it.
still have.
Yeah. Throughout the whole country.
Yeah.
Like we said at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
In fact, when we were in 8th grade, they robbed a bank.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
1953.
Southwest Bank.
53.
1953.
I watched the police cars going down to Columbia.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
We talked a little bit
And a
about
guy
that.
that worked, guess where he worked? That got robbed the bank.
Solace. Solace.
Solace.
He worked here. He worked right
Circle
here.
right back to Solace right here.
He worked the lunch counter.
Right, that's exactly right. Sunny.
Yeah. Sonny Gertz.
Yeah.
All right, since we're talking about restaurants, I want to bring up the subject, toasted ravioli.
Toasted ravioli.
Now, there's a couple restaurants that claim they invented it by accident or what have you, but apparently, my dad, your great uncle Sam Caputa, had a bar called
Caps Bar.
Caps Bar and Grill on the corner of Hereford and Shaw Avenue, which would be right across the street from Adriana's now and Guido's, where those little apartments are.
Caps Bar.
And they were making toasted ravioli back in the 30s. Yeah, talk about that.
But they weren't breading them.
Huh?
They weren't breading them.
No, I don't know about that, but
They
they
had,
came
the
up
first
with the
ones
first
weren't breaded.
toasted ravioli.
yeah,
They dropped it in the fryer by mistake.
yeah.
It slipped.
Joe, this is an argument you can have with
Yeah.
25 different people,
Oh,
and they'll
Danny
tell you
says-
25 different stories.
Oh, Danny says they're the first.
I'm pretty sure that's
Gito
what the
said they
original
were the
ones
first.
Angelo's.
Oh, gee.
Angel,
Campese's,
Campese's.
they say.
That was old Danny's then.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
I wish I knew what the truth was.
I find it hard to believe
Yeah.
if somebody accidentally took a ravioli and dropped it in some egg wash and then accidentally dropped it in some breadcrumbs and then accidentally dropped it in a deep
I got the
fryer.
story from Uncle Sam.
Just a ravioli
Uncle Sam?
dropped
Uncle
in the
Sam
oil.
told me the story. Yeah.
Okay. And what did he say?
Well, he just said that your Uncle Caps, Carlo Lamarca's uncle,
Yeah.
he's the first one to get toasted ravioli.
Yeah.
Breaded and everything? Or just.
No, they breaded it.
They did.
They messed with
Yeah,
it.
we breaded everything. Italians were known for bread. Even Gardunias. Gardunias, yeah. Right? They breaded those and.
Pass up
Fried
steak
them.
for them.
Yeah,
Pass up steak
sure.
for them.
Right.
Well, I tell you, we had
So I don't think you'll ever figure it out.
Right.
Mr. Giudice, which was Carm Cacciatore's father, had
Sure.
a fish market
Right.
Okay.
right where Marconi Mercado is.
Right.
It was in
Right.
the back.
Okay.
And and back in those days, in Lent, it was Wednesdays and Fridays.
And Fridays.
And you couldn't eat meat.
Right.
And he would get the stuff, and me and Steve Katz would go down there, and he'd wrap it in newspaper and say, this goes to, put the address on it. We'd run it to there and run it back.
Not only that, what about when he had the
You were
cart?
the first DoorDash, Phil.
He had a cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had all the fish in the cart, and you go down Shell Avenue. yelling, yelling fish in Italian.
Fish,
okay.
Fish.
And Joe, he was smaller than me. He was 5'4".
Oh, really?
And maybe weighed 82 pounns wet.
Oh,
Maybe.
wow.
Maybe. Yeah. He was a pistol.
Oh, man.
And then we had Mr. Junta
And the
with
vegetables.
the truck,
The vegetable trucks.
vegetable truck. They had old buses.
Right.
You walked in the back.
Yeah.
They had bends where the seats were.
Right,
I'll
that's
be
right.
darned.
Rang the bell.
That's right.
You buy your
They had a scale in there, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Sure did.
Scale.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was fence post green. Trucks, whatever you drove was fence post green.
Yeah, a lot of Italians were in the produce business,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of
Well,
them.
the
Definitely.
big
Lot of
produce
produce.
place was where Favaz's is at
Yeah.
now. The Ridge, that was
Blue
all
Ridge Market. Yeah.
Blue Ridge Market.
But they're all Sicilians. Downtown was all Sicilians.
All Sicilians.
Yeah, right.
That's why I say when that got, they developed that or whatever you want to call it. A lot of them moved to the Hill. Other ones went to North St. Louis.
Yeah.
Well, remember
North County.
the lemon
I
ice
think we
trucks
had,
at
what,
Bear
3?
Park? They'd park the lemon ice, and you could buy the lemon ice
Right.
there at night. And they worked right out of the back of the truck, making the shaved ice, and make the lemon ice.
About the knife sharpener.
Yeah.
Right.
He used to pedal.
Right.
With his foot.
He'd pedal the thing and sharpen your
And you
knives.
go all
the
over the
stone.
city.
You split a hair with them knives when you got done.
Yeah. Go all
By
over the
hand,
city.
all by hand.
Yeah.
He'd come right in front of everybody's house and
Right.
he'd come out.
Now the Bartarellis do it.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
Yes, they
Right.
do.
Yes.
Right
You
there.
probably you'd take your knives
The
to
one
Bartarelli's.
thing that made this neighborhood so strong too, Joe, is everybody were working people. And when something was done here, you didn't pay to do it. You did it.
Yeah,
Everybody pitched in and did the work.
right.
And that's one thing Polizzi was smart about. He had a lot of events, but he never went to the same well every time. He had this group take care of this event, this group take care of that event. He spread it out, so you didn't have to go to the same people for everything. Where today's world, our poor restaurants and business people get tapped for everything that we do.
They get hit for everything.
Everything. See, Polizzi didn't do that. He would give you a break on one or two, but don't worry, he's coming back.
Coming back.
You didn't forget. Talk
He
about
didn't
a good
forget
memory. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna hold it right there. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back on the Supper Club after these messages. Kuna Food Service, providing quality food to people across the Midwest, is part of our rich history at Kuna because food brings people together. We specialize in having a large variety of food products and food supplies, catering to an array of businesses that turn to us. Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. Oliva on the Hill. It's Italy in the city. With exquisite old-world charm, this ideal setting is perfect for your next special event, wedding, just having lunch, or enjoying Wine Down Wednesday and the Antique Market. Check it out, olivaonthehill.com. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. Family owned and operated for over 70 years, specializing in engagement rings, fashion jewelry, gemstones, and in-house jewelry repair. Relaxed, friendly atmosphere, competitive pricing, and a selection second to none. Conveniently located just west of the Galleria on Clayton Road. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. LordosDiamonds.com. Joe Fresta for Fresta Limoncello. My handcrafted small batch citrus liqueur is perfect for sipping or pouring in a cocktail. All natural, gluten-free, Fresta Limoncello is sold at Schnucks, Dierberg's, Straub's, Total Wine, and local restaurants. Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends. Welcome back to the Supper Club. I'm Joe Fresta. Again, we're here with some gentlemen that represent probably the last Italian neighborhood in America. We're talking about a little history, the culture, and what they did when they grew up and whatnot. And other than the clay mines, there were other jobs too. There were factories. There was a spaghetti factory here.
Magic Chef.
Magic Chef. They made stoves.
Right.
Blue Ridge Soda.
McQuay
Norris. Talk about these different
Made piston rings.
piston
Right.
rings. Yeah. Talk about those. Let's go with the spaghetti factory we had here.
Well, the
Reberino Freschi.
Yeah.
R&F.
And
R&F.
before that, it was Garozzo's.
Okay.
American pasta.
Oh.
And then Garozzo had it, and then he lost the business, and R&F bought it, but they were already established off of Kings Highway. They
Okay.
used that as their secondary place. And they
Garoga
did
was
lunch.
on your block.
Yeah, where my house is.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
I bought the building in 1970.
I
It
remember
burned
that.
down,
Okay.
and
Right.
Polizzi made tennis courts out of it for 18 years. And then when the tennis courts started going in the ground, he sold it to me, and I built 2 homes there.
A lot of immigrants worked at Reverino Freschi. I mean,
Lots
it
of
was loaded with Italians.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And at Magic Chef,
Magic
making
Chef.
stoves.
Yeah.
Yep. And what
They
was
call it
McQuay
quick
Norris,
meal,
right?
quick meal.
Quick meal.
Quick
Quick
meal.
meal. The
Quick meal,
the
McQueen-R's.
same. The stove.
Then the war hit, and that's when they really started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big
gangbusters.
deal. That hit the hill hard. There was a lot
40s,
of-
yeah.
Well, they actually helped the hill because when my father worked at Magic Chef, the day they cleared war, they stopped making
Like
stoves.
overnight, they
stopped
switched it over to
stoves.
making
And
munitions,
they were
right?
Making, they were making bomb casings for bombs,
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
and so all the young guys were off the hill. So he complained. They had all these old guys. The young guys were in the service.
Yeah.
I had next door neighbors, 3 boys in the same house, all Navy, Marines, and Army.
Yeah,
The whole hill was all old men.
Yeah.
So it was hard to get production because these old guys. They finally got the machinery going, and they really cranked it up.
They took all my uncles except my dad was married, had 2 kids. So
My
he
dad was there
one- they
because of the factory.
took his 3 brothers and then took
Yeah.
the other 3 brothers.
Yeah. So it wasn't unusual.
Starcraft, they used to make Venetian blinds.
Right.
They started
Yeah.
making bullets for the war.
Right.
The Shudos,
Shooters,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that got people that paid their houses off. Of course, the house in those days, I think my dad paid $2,200 for his house. So I mean,
Yeah.
so they got their houses paid off, but so in a sense, and in fact, they got them out of the depression because
Right.
so that everybody keeps thinking Roosevelt kind of planned getting into the war to help the economy,
Yeah.
and it did on the Hill for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Lost a few boys too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a list of them in the piazza
Yeah.
of all
In
the
fact,
people
they
we
just
lost.
put a memorial in South County. Have you seen it? The Purple
You
Heart.
got a big list of that in there?
They got a
Really?
Purple Heart memorial now in South County.
I'll be
Frank Borghe's on. it.
And in the piazza, we have a column of every person from the Hill
Right.
that has died
I gotta see
in the
that.
wars.
I
Wow.
never
You
saw
know,
that.
do you know the story about Frank Borghe?
With Jack Buck.
Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy, ain't
That's
What
it?
is that
crazy.
story?
Borghe was a medic,
Okay.
and they were trying to take out this last bridge in Germany,
Right.
and they couldn't get to it.
Okay.
So they called the United States, and they sent over an artillery unit. Jack Buck happened to be in that artillery unit. But when they got over there, the artillery unit blew out the bridge. This soldier got hurt. Frank Borghe didn't know he saved the guy's arm, but he saved the guy's arm. Back in the 50s, Jack Buck's family moved up to Elizabeth Avenue.
And Macklin, yeah.
And Jack found out that it was Frank Borghe that was the medic that saved his arm.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Small world.
Small world, yeah.
Real small.
So
He
Jack,
also had the Purple Heart. He also had the Silver Star.
Yeah.
Wow.
Borghe did.
so Jack lived here as a kid.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No,
No, it was after the war.
No, he
No.
he didn't move here till
950, 51.
50s, late 50s.
Oh, he was announcing for the Cardinals
Right.
then?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He
Yeah.
lived
Well,
on.
then Garagiola must have told him about the hill or
He
something.
lived on
That's why-
Elizabeth
And
and
Macklin.
Macklin.
He lived
On
in
the corner.
Caballas.
You know who
house.
lived with him? There's a duplex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John
Carl
Ferrara.
Gentili
John
lived
Ferrara,
there.
yeah.
John Ferrara.
John
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
His family moved
That's a
there.
beautiful building, by the way.
Yeah.
Still there.
Still there.
And while we're talking about housing, what was the typical house? We very well known for the shotgun
Yeah,
home
right.
on the hill. Very, and they were largely built because back then your taxes were based on the width of your house.
The width. Yeah.
So what they did was they turned it around and went long ways, so you'd pay less taxes. But go ahead. Who wants to pick up from there with the
that's what-
shotgun home?
That's what they call them, shotgun houses. You know, and it was just 4 bedrooms. You walk in the living room, and there'd be bedrooms, and you get to the kitchen.
Right.
Well, you
So-
were raised in one.
Yeah. Yeah, I lived when I moved back to the hill. I lived in one.
The old saying, you open the front door, you see the back door.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You could shoot a bullet right through the front door and sail right through the back door.
That's how I got the nickname.
That's right, shotgun home.
You know, for my father's family, there was 9 in their family.
Yeah.
In a little 4-room house, a shotgun house. 9 people.
Yeah, you lived with 9 people too, didn't you, Dad?
On Shaw Avenue.
Yeah.
My father was 9 people.
Yeah.
In a small
So it was
house.
just, but they made it. They weren't
Yeah.
complaining. They made it.
Made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to make it. What else were you going to do? You know, you had no other choice.
And as kids, you entertain yourselves. We talked about sports and the different activities you guys would do. You would work at an early age, but you had movie theaters. You had a Columbia show.
Columbia show.
You had the family theater on Shaw Avenue,
That
which
was
has now
kinda-
been turned into a home.
That was kind of gone when we were growing up.
Not me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, growing up.
Family
Yeah.
theater. There was another theater too.
We used to
Was
lay
it-
down on the
was there
porch
not?
and look right inside. Mama, me,
Macklin.
and Aunt Jane.
Macklin Theater.
Macklin show was on
Yeah,
Arsenal
Arsenal.
Street.
Yeah.
I never did figure that one out. They called it the Macklin show, but it was on Arsenal. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you had access to movies and whatnot. And
Always, we
you had everything here, really. It was very self-sustaining. You had,
We were a
funeral
city within a
parlor.
city, Joe.
It still
we
is.
We were self-sufficient.
Still is.
We didn't have to go anywhere.
You're right.
You're right.
You're right.
My mother never drove. A lot of the ladies never drove.
My
Grandma never left the hill.
Or
mother
they never
never drove.
worked.
Right.
They never
That's
left
right.
the
The
hill.
husband worked.
Yeah.
The mother stayed home to take care of all the kids.
Yeah.
You know?
We were in high school, and the kids we were in high school with, they were afraid to come on the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can we come on the hill? Well,
Maybe.
we let them.
Maybe.
We let them think we were so bad, but we weren't.
Yeah. Well, even today, during COVID, you had everything you needed right here. You could walk to the
Everything.
pharmacy. You could walk to a grocery store. You could walk to restaurants. And you had everything right here. You didn't have to go anywhere.
We had a
And
shoemaker.
you could walk there.
We had the shoemaker. We had the diamond shop.
Yeah. We had cleaners.
Barber
the
shop.
cleaners.
We had plenty of bars, restaurants,
Bar.
grocery stores. We had you didn't have to go far for
Drugstores.
whatever you needed.
My grandma went to
Drugstore
Toscano's
on
every
every corner.
day, bought what she needed for that
that
day
night.
because the freezer in her refrigerator was this big.
That's exactly right. Two
So
trays
she
of
went
ice.
to. She lived about a half a block down from Toscano's on Bischoff, and she walked every day, got what she needed for the day, and walked back home.
Yeah.
She might have got it for 2 days, but most of the time it was for the day.
But you know, all the guys our age all had jobs of some sort.
Yeah.
They-
Yeah.
On most of the time, busboys in restaurants.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we can get into. But I had a job at 6th grade on
Yeah.
until I just lately haven't been away.
Yeah.
Did you play
Right,
sports
right.
in high school? Nope.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You had to go to
And
work.
I
Help support
I
the
started
family.
working at Wilmar Lounge. I was 10 years old. I'd
Yeah.
clean the back of the bars.
Were you a bar back?
I did, well, not when they were open. You just go clean everything.
Oh, okay.
And during the day, I'd go there in the summer, and I'd clean everything, pick up the little Coke bottles, and they had the little split bottles for the beer.
For the beer.
Splits. Yeah.
And you'd go away, and back then there was some real characters that
Hung out in the
hung out there, and they'd flip you a couple bucks, and I was like a
set,
Rockefeller walking around with $2 in my pocket.
Now a bottle costs more than the beer.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, we used to collect the bottles because you got a nickel
Yeah.
and 2 cents.
2 cents a piece.
2 cents, and the big bottles were
Nickel.
a nickel. And that's how we would get our candy money.
I want to go back to 1974 when Hill Day started. Why did Hill Day? Why did that come about?
Oh, that was Pulitzer.
What was it for?
That was Pulitzer, and
That
it
was
actually
Pulitzer.
started in the
Yeah.
60s.
Oh, 60s.
It started in the 60s.
64. 1964.
And
I'm
it,
sorry.
What they did is when he created this Hill 2000, it was his first major idea of raising money.
Sure.
And that's what they started. And if you remember the huddle, the Venegoni huddle, they would go down there and they'd make floats. They work all year on them. And
Yeah.
everybody thinks the Hill Days were a yearly event. They weren't. They were spaced out 2, 3 years apart, sometimes 4 years apart.
Okay.
And they would build these things up and they would have it raise the money. The problem is the Hill Days got so big.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, you had
Thousands.
thousands and tens of thousands of people in this
There's a
neighborhood.
picture in
That's when
Milo's.
Dad started bringing me over.
Yeah.
there's
for
a
Hill Day. It
picture
was
in Milo's
unbelievable.
show of people.
And the smell of zazitza
that in
in
there
the
where you
air,
had
and
the
people
place?
cooking in
Oh,
the
yeah.
backyards
Oh,
and
we had the
walking
wine
around with
garden.
buckets of
We
beer.
had the
bucket
wine
of beer
garden
and
Yeah.
oh, it was quite the event.
We're dumping Vino Rosso from the gallon into the bucket and bringing it upstairs.
One of the last
Homemade
ones they
wine.
had,
You
Joe,
know,
is
Joe bought that building.
they have a big fireworks display at the end of the hill day.
We sold
And
it
it'd
to
be a
Tom
half hour,
Savio.
kind of like downtown
And
does,
Tom
but not quite
Savio,
as
I
big.
think now he still owns the building. He just sold the business to Joe.
Joe.
No, it was
Joe
just-
bought everything.
Joe just
Building.
bought it.
Yeah.
And
Milo's.
That was a good move. Well, then Savio rents from him for the realty.
No,
office.
they're out. They're gone now.
They're gone?
so the fireworks display was going off. One of the bombs came down on the field
Oh,
and
Yeah.
hit, and they all started, and that's
That was the end of it.
30-something people got hurt, and that was the end of the hill
Yeah.
days.
you know what? Other thing too was it was just becoming too many outsiders.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Wasn't a
community
thing.
event anymore.
No.
It became like St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Who was Italian, by the way? and
That's
I think Father Plitchie didn't want it to become another St. Patrick's Day or a Mardi Gras or
Right.
whatever. When it just got people just
and the business side of it got too expensive. The insurance
much.
after those accidents
Sure.
went way through the roof, and we just went like
You
this.
know, and I agree with him. He should have
Yeah.
shut it down
Yeah.
because it was no longer.
If you remember,
There's no longer a hill.
then
No,
the
it
Germans did it. They started Beagle Day. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right.
That was after us, and everything went down there, and they had nothing but trouble
Right.
for the next 10 years.
They shut it down too.
They shut it
They
down
shut
too.
It down too. Right.
But this neighborhood used to do everything.
It's like Mardi Gras.
we had
They
plays.
shut that down.
yeah,
They'd have neighborhood plays. We had not only athletes in the neighborhood, you had talented musicians. You had people that just about anything that you needed done, we had people that could do it.
right.
It was kind of amazing.
It was so self-sufficient.
It was very
And you,
self-
like you said, you could barter
you barter a lot.
services and talent to get what you wanted and what you needed to survive.
I can remember Plitzy telling me 1,000 times, Philip, this is not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. And I have the collar.
Bet.
So
Yeah. Yeah. so-
We had Forest Park Highlands.
oh, sure.
I
Yeah.
got no money from the
And
archdiocese.
they had a pool there. Your
said,
dad
I
and
don't
I
wanna be
don't know how many times we
obligated.
walked.
I don't want
from
to
the
be
hill.
obligated.
he made
Go
it
swimming. Go swimming. One chance we had to go swimming.
And the stock car track,
Yeah, right.
Wall Stadium.
Wall Stadium.
It's true. A lot of the homes were built with
Well,
leftover lumber from the World's Fair.
certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Joya's Brick is from the World Fair. The building for
okay.
Joya's building, that's World
Grandpa's
Fair
house in the back of Columbia was built from the World's Fair.
No kidding.
Brick.
All
Big
the
Club
way.
Casino, Columbia is
It's before my time, but they can tell you there was nothing. Once you got past Macklin,
Right.
there was basically nothing. Then when you got down to Daggett Sublette, from there to Hampton
Yeah.
and to Manchester, there was absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
I was in
yeah.
the last row of houses on the hill in Macklin, across the street from John Tony's.
The dump.
From there to was a field.
Feel.
That was it.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
There was no alleys, there was no houses. I remember when they put Daggett Avenue in, would it take them 10 years to fill in?
Yeah.
We call it Macklin Field.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it Bear Park today.
All
but
those,
Yeah.
all those clay mines in there and
Yeah.
It was a big hole. Went down like this, Joe.
Well,
Well, you know, you notice now when you go down that part of the hill, Wilson, and the streets are starting to there's these big divots, and I think it might have something to do with those. There's some
there was
mines underneath.
mines underneath underneath the
they had
streets.
Shafts from here to South Kings Highway.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, Kings Highway and also was shaft, mine
Yeah.
shaft. So, I don't know, Phil, do you have a problem when you were building a
Yeah,
house?
we just built a house for the daughter on Daggett Avenue.
Uh-huh.
And when I was digging the house, there's this creek, there's a stream
Right.
that went right through the property.
Yeah.
And we had to pier everything down when we exposed it. But it was really strange. It stayed in its boundaries, and it was only about 10 foot wide, and it went right through that property.
Where'd it go? Where'd it end up?
It went through the next
By
neighbor's
Merlo's house?
By Merlo's house, and went all the way down that way, and it goes out towards where the clay mines
What
are.
about Tootsie's Pond?
Probably by
Tootsie's
your
Pond.
house, Joe.
Tootsie's
Oh,
Pond.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Goes down that way.
When they raised Tootsie's, when
underground
they tore
creek.
Tootsie's house down and filled that hole in, they hooked the stream into the sewer line, so they could build a house.
Well, this there when I
Tootsie's
did
Pond was
it was
big.
down
Yes, it was.
about 14 feet. when I hit the
I'll
water.
be darned. It was still going, still flowing.
Oh, still flowing.
underneath
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Isn't
And
that
somebody
something?
knew it because they put a no fishing sign on it.
Yes, they did.
I come by there one day and there was a sign on his lot where he built his daughter's house, so no fishing.
Well, there was a pond. There was a pond there on Wilson and Lily.
Lily.
We call it Tootsie's Pond.
Yeah.
And it was probably 25 feet below the street.
Yeah.
It was a big creek, big pond there.
Big pond.
Storm weather. So we used to play down there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
How about when they made Weber Hill in the back, when they used to ride the motorcycles up before they built the highway in the
There
late
were so
60s.
many people worked at the brickyard on the corner of Daggett and Macklin. There was a path. It ran on an angle all the way through
It's where they walk
the
through.
field to the clay mines.
Cut through.
Well, we started riding our bikes and stuff down that path. I found out them bikes in our day couldn't do 100 miles an hour. You know, so somebody nicknamed it Suicide Hill. Remember that?
Yeah, Suicide
I mean,
Hill.
you don't realize how steep it is from that corner down to the brickyard.
Yeah.
It's steep. And sometimes the guys, I think Paul Pisani ended up in River de Pere one.
Yeah, it used to go like
It was
this.
a big
It
deal
was-
if you could ride somebody on the back of your bike up the hill.
Yeah, up the hill.
Up the hill. If you
yeah.
could get,
Yeah, you were king.
you were
Yeah,
king.
you were the king of the hill.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Okay.
That hill was something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get into some stories. We could talk, we all know there was organized crime on the hill.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't
But
either.
There's some, there's some stories. I mean, we're not too far away from. There was a gentleman was got in a little trouble and was hung off the bridge here and other types of things. But what do you guys remember as kids? You hear about certain things, or during the Prohibition, there was a lot of bootlegging going on and
Most of the
things
people
of that
made it for
nature.
themselves, though. Most people just made their own wine and
Yeah, called it hooch and just drank it
grappa,
themselves.
made the grappa. My grandpa made his own wine.
Mr. Russo was the largest still maker in the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He made stills for the
Copper.
mob,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah,
I
my
would-
my nan who worked with him.
yeah, and then they raided his house
Uh-huh.
and they pulled all the barrels of wine he had in his house, put them out on Bishop Avenue, and smacked them with sledgehammers, and let all the wine go down, the sewer.
That was in 1959.
Yeah, you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I was in service.
During the war, the precious metals was copper, and so they said if you have a still, they're all made out of copper. If you have a still, if you get it out and put it on the curb, nobody's gonna say a word. They'll just take it, no questions asked. And I said, my dad said, you come down the street, all these stills all over. And how many a lot of sub basements.
Yeah.
The garages had sub basements in.
Yeah.
This filling station that Joe and I hung out at, they had a sub basement.
Yeah.
And they filled it with wine and they pumped it out. They thought it was gas, but we didn't think it was bad. And
Right.
we knew some rough guys there. Joe knew a couple of
You
rough guys.
gotta watch how you talk about the
No, I didn't say that.
guy
We knew-
jumped off the bridge and all that stuff.
Well,
By the way, that was Lou Pasteur's dad.
Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur's dad.
Yeah.
but like Butch said, almost every
Yeah.
person of that era made their own vino,
Right.
and some made their own grappa.
Except Grandpa.
So
Okay. Grandpa.
He
they
wouldn't
did
do
it till probably the late 70s. Then grape prices got so expensive, a lot of them stopped making it.
Yeah. And sugar was scarce too.
Sugar.
Yeah, sugar.
Which is what, the old we brought it up earlier, Consolino's grocery store. They had a tunnel. Didn't they have a tunnel?
Right. They did.
Because he could get a hold of the sugar because he had a
right,
grocery store.
Billy
Which is
Bald-
Azia's restaurant today.
Billy Baldassi's
Yeah, it's a
house.
restaurant now.
Remember
Yeah.
Billy lived on Wilson there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you
All,
put
all
it,
we ever heard, Joe,
The
'cause I
Heron
was
brothers had
younger,
that.
were
Heron
stories.
brothers
had
Just
that-
the
Yeah,
story.
I just heard the
Mechanical shop.
stories.
Yeah. Yeah, just the stories. Yeah.
You put that crop in a NASCAR, it go 20 miles an hour. They go 20 miles an hour faster than they go today.
It's like rocket fuel.
180 proof.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tasted it, I thought my toes were burning. you could feel it going all the way down.
But you know what? That's how they made money.
Yeah, to make it.
My grandfather, they made, and it's funny talking about that. They had a jail up in St. Charles, and if you got caught making moonshine, you got a year in jail. And on Sundays, they go up there, they're all having a picnic. All the people want food up there. That was the jail. But you had to spend
Sunday sugo at the prison.
You had to spend a year there, and then but the whole hill was up there. It was funny.
Those old timers did what
They
had to
That's
do
correct.
to make it.
make
That's
a few
right.
bucks.
Like your dad said at the beginning of this
Yeah.
conversation, they came over with nothing, couldn't
Right.
speak the language,
That's
and
right.
they all made it.
Yeah, one
That
way or the
says-
other.
That says something.
They're survivors.
That
Yep,
says something.
Yep, they're survivors.
They're
You hit it right
survivors.
on the head.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Well, you got here at the right time. The country was growing. It was a perfect time to come here.
Well, I tell you, I could die tomorrow, and I had the perfect life in this neighborhood. You had everything that you ever wanted to do. You had good people, good friends, good sports,
Right.
good schools. Everything we had was right here.
And the generation gap, as the older we got, the bigger the generation gap got. I mean, we knew guys that were 50, and we knew guys that were 20,
Yeah,
and we were all friends.
all friends. Everybody got along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where can you go? You say, I've been with these guys for over 70 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
really?
It's unheard
More
of.
than 70 years.
More.
Yeah.
When you tell people that
80
don't
years.
live in St.
80
Louis,
years, Nick.
That's right.
that you still have friends from grade school,
Right.
they look at you like you got
Yeah.
two heads.
Right.
They can't believe it.
That's
Well,
it.
I think St. Louis in general, like a lot of cosmopolitan, metropolitan areas around the country, have become very transient, except St. Louis. The people who live here, that are living here now, were born and raised here, and they never left. Right. And so you've got deep-rooted relationships in business and family and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Makes it hard for when someone does move here for them to break in and do anything, because they've got to, there's all these deep-rooted relationships.
Well, you'll hear all the time that, oh, we're outsiders. I've been living here 10 years, but I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
You hear that conversation.
You
Well,
do.
You're now a part of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Once you're here, you're part of the
You're
neighborhood.
here. Yeah, that's right.
Well, one family just lost the last member of the family, and the son's going to live in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's wonderful.
Jimmy's son, Jimmy Merle's son.
Yeah.
He's going to live in
Bobby.
that house. Bobby.
Bobby, yeah.
Yeah,
Keith
that's
just
great.
talked to him today.
That's great. And I'd like to see more
Down
of
there you
that.
got him, you got his sister across the street, and the other sister's moving into Pat's house up
Yeah.
on Daggett.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they have
The whole family's going to be
three-quarters of their
within
families within
a block.
Yeah.
Actually, within a block.
300 yards of each other.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'd like to see happen. I know, Phil, you'd like to see happen, is more people, maybe people who were born and raised here in the neighborhood, maybe they moved out to raise families and bigger homes and whatnot. Empty nesters now come back and live here. Starter homes for the younger couples.
The problem is the price is so high now. though,
Well,
man.
that's true.
That's my business, but I'm
That's
saying
true.
You can't. The hills just price itself out.
The hill's
Yeah.
20%, 25% above any real
Right.
estate in this town.
Right.
Right.
And to
And
come-
what does that tell you,
it,
though?
it tells people want to come here,
Yeah.
and a lot of the people that are coming here are building the bigger homes.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're buying this little shotgun like we were talking before,
Yeah,
and you're paying
yeah.
$275,000 for it,
Yeah.
and then you spend $30,000 to tear it down, you got $300,000
Right.
in just the lot.
Yeah,
now you got to build, so you're $700,000-$800,000 real
Easy.
fast.
Easy.
Yeah.
Real
So
fast.
what you're buying is a lifestyle. You're not buying a house.
You're buying a
you're buying a
neighborhood.
neighborhood, and a school.
Yeah,
St. Ambrose.
you're
is
buying a neighborhood.
Tremendous.
Exactly.
My son remodeled his kitchen and his bathroom, $90,000.
Oh, yeah, it's
I built 3 houses for 3 doctors, so we got 3 doctors came into the neighborhood, and so it's helping the neighborhood. It's,
Yeah, right.
So
and that's why you see all the different architecture now.
Yeah.
You know, you go look at some of these old shotgun houses. The brickwork was fantastic.
Yeah, right.
You know, they had murals in them, and they had different colored brick in them. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
They had stone in
Little
with the
stone
brick.
inlay, yeah.
I mean, it's
What do you think
it's
they
really
put in the building
nice.
across
Really
the street?
neat.
Now they're buying two of them, tearing them
used to
down,
be
and
Sonic
building
Scepters,
you know,
Brown and
a big
Cooper
4,000
now.
square foot house.
I mean, that
but
place
they're more modern.
Yeah.
And they all had fig trees.
Oh, yeah.
Still got one.
Every house
A
had
lot
a
of
fig
everybody
tree.
bought fig trees with them over here. Yeah.
Not only fig trees, we had gardens in the
Great.
summertime.
My son brings me a couple of figs every morning
Yeah.
Fig trees.
off of my tree, yeah.
In the summertime, we never went to the
You-
store for for
The old-
vegetables.
The old timers all had
gardens.
gardens.
Yeah, my
They-
grandfather.
every
Did they
every
try
back-
lemon trees too? Did they try that? Bring
No,
one,
no,
two
no,
lemon
no,
trees?
fig trees.
Nah, it's kind of
And
hard.
then as kids, we used to at
The
night
winters.
we used to raid the gardens. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
At night, we used to go raid all these gardens.
And you, trust me, they were very protective of their
Yeah,
gardens.
they-
You
how'd
had
they
to be
care-
quiet
yeah.
when you got in there.
How'd that carrot taste? It tastes like dirt. I guess we should have washed it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't be
Everybody
fair.
had a garden.
That's right.
Oh, I
Everybody.
bet.
Because-
Well, you had to survive. You had to grow your own food.
Everybody had an ash pit too.
Ash pit, yeah.
Yeah, in the
My
alleys.
dad, my dad
We used to
raised,
go ash pit.
Ash pit
Ash
hunting.
pit. Remember what's that?
yeah.
We
Well,
all look in the ash pits.
When we grow up,
Oh, yeah.
when we grew up, you'd spend a night out in the summertime. You'd camp in somebody's backyard. All the bakeries would drop off at all the stores, and they'd drop the bread off at 5 in the morning.
Right.
So you'd sneak and get a couple of loaves.
Probably found it.
They didn't have cameras then. Thank
Yeah,
God.
right.
But that's how everyone did. Everything
Yeah.
was in the open. I mean, it's
Right out there.
right out there.
Yeah,
for everybody.
open doors, car keys in the car, whatever. Yeah. Because everybody knew each other. A lot of them were your family
Sure.
that lived right around the corner,
Oh,
or
yeah.
right a few doors down.
Aunt,
or
uncle,
whatnot.
cousin. yeah.
Everybody knew what everybody did
Doing
too.
it.
That's right.
When you like a little painting place.
Yeah, you didn't need cameras. You had eyes everywhere.
There's a few things that happened in the boys' clubs that people didn't know about. But
That's okay.
not
right?
much, not much.
Yeah.
The question you get asked all the time if you did something just not 100% correct, they'll say, does your mom and dad know you're doing that? From everybody. Do your mom and dad know you're doing that? If you were underage and you had a beer, your mom, is it okay if you? Let's call them.
Yeah, you're right. Let's find out.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Driftwood. How old were we when we started hanging around in
Right.
Driftwood?
Oh Jesus. 16.
17 years old.
Yeah.
But
16,
times were different
17.
then.
Yeah.
You know, nobody abused anything. You just you did what you had
Plus,
to do.
we walked. We
Yeah.
were
Right.
walking.
Yeah.
We didn't have a car yet.
You know,
There was no malls or no nothing to hang out in.
Yeah.
there was one car in the family if you were lucky.
Yeah.
Just one.
Yeah. Right.
Grandpa had a truck.
And he walked. My father walked.
Yeah.
Walked
He walked to work.
walked to work, walked to church. It wouldn't
Yeah.
need a car for him.
No, you really didn't. Now they got golf carts.
Yeah.
See the article in the paper? There's an article in the paper
About
today.
150 of them on the hill now.
Yeah.
The big article in the paper today about DeVolte's trying to skin the
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Trying to get him to do what?
stop parking on the sidewalks and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They're stopping them.
yeah.
Well, that's a good idea.
Well, that would be a
I
whole
like to
nother
see 'em-
conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole other show.
like
And
to
I'd
see
rather
them
they be
get
up on the
seatbelts on
sidewalk
them.
personally because
Yeah,
now
they're
they're
kids.
taking
I'm
parking
waiting for 'em
spots
to
away
put
from
a
me.
license on it like a scooter, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
here's-
that's
here's-
right around the corner.
There'll be an avenue for revenue, and they'll
That's
take
right.
it.
That's what it's all about.
That's where it's going.
That's what it's
So,
all about, really. I tell everybody that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, when I put insurance on my car when we got it, and the broker goes, "What's the license on?" I said, "Don't have a license."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't have a motor. It's electric. You know,
Yeah.
it's got a battery." So how fast does it go? I said, "About 15." He said, "All right." So he wrote me up a policy. You know, you got to protect yourself if
That's
something
right.
would happen.
I've done
you
the
know.
same thing.
But he's
better have it.
And
'cause
I've
you're going
talked
to
to
need
him
it. You're going to
recently,
have
and
to have it pretty
He
soon.
said, "You remember O'Kane
Yeah.
from hockey? He said he's probably now got about 100 carts insured.
how many things on the hill, Phil? Oh,
There's 100.
There's got to be at least 100 to 150 carts on the hill. at least.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, easy.
Nick, we go everywhere now. Me and Keith.
Yeah,
doing it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
because
Yeah.
And then you got
Where
the
you
little
gonna park?
Vespas,
Number
the little
one, parking's
scooters.
really
Vespas,
getting
The
yeah.
bad.
thing is, when
Yes.
somebody gets hurt, that's when they'll start putting the foot down.
You know
When
what,
somebody
though,
gets
Joe?
killed.
They already are.
Most
Oh.
people I see with them are really careful.
Yeah.
I mean, the people
Most.
I see,
Most.
most.
I
There's-
bet there's
You're,
a
you're
lot-
always going to have.
There's a lot of kids that
Yeah.
run around, and there's people that carry babies on them. There's some craziness with them, but
Yeah.
for the most part, people are pretty
People are safe.
pretty
yeah.
safe.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a conversation for another.
That's one for another show.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for
Our pleasure.
taking the time
Oh,
out,
that's good. I
and
hope we
Yeah.
sharing the
did a good
stories.
job.
Yeah.
It's a great story. The hill in itself is a great story, and many stories within it. So,
Many stories within it is right.
yeah, thanks for sharing.
You were talking about sports. Joe just ended on Soccer Hall of Fame has over 50 people in it from this neighborhood.
Yeah,
We
we
need to
got
make
the
it-
Cacciatories.
We need to
Right.
make it 51.
Yeah.
He's in it already.
Phil is too. I just got him in.
There's a kid sitting over there that's
Yeah,
going to be
Keith
in it
Grassi.
too.
Let's get him in.
Let's get
So,
him.
Yeah,
Your job, Joe.
we'll give you one job. Well, anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much for doing
Okay,
that.
Joe, thank you.
The Supper Club brought to you by Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life. Oliva on the Hill. Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor. MFI, Artisan Masonry. And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends.